the Azteca, Mexico City, summer 2026. Jude Bellingham scores twice in 98 seconds. England go down to 10 men and they hold on 3-2 in one of the great cathedrals of this sport. Kane, Bellingham, Rice, accomplished manager Thomas Tuchel's England, the deepest squad they've sent to a World Cup since the fabled boys of '66. And after beating Norway in the quarterfinals, the England dream is still alive. One more thing of note, Harry Kane is captaining England at his third World Cup. What's amazing about that is only one other Englishman has ever matched the feat. I'll tell you that other man's name in a minute. Let's hold this story right here for now. Before you buy the dream, I need you to hear from a goalkeeper. He was once the best in the world. His team was better than this England team, and there's something you might not expect to be the most famous quote from his life. Under Brazilian law, the maximum sentence is 30 years, but my imprisonment has been for 50. The best teams often never win the biggest trophy, and there's a decent chance you are watching it happen again, right now. So, let's rewind, all the way back. Level 1, Rio de Janeiro, 1950. The goalkeeper's name was Moacir Barbosa, and he kept goal for the greatest team on earth, in front of the biggest crowd the sport has ever seen, nearly 200,000 people. The Maracana, brand new, packed to the sky for the deciding match against rivals Uruguay, and Brazil only needed a draw. The mayor of Rio stood at a microphone before kickoff and declared them champions of the world. Bold claim. Uruguay noticed. When Brazil scored first, Uruguay's captain slowed the whole game to a crawl and let 200,000 people stew. Then, 11 minutes from time, Uruguay comes in flying down the right. Barbosa reads the cross into the box, but it is not a cross. The ball goes in the near post. 2-1. The loudest place in the history of the sport went silent. Writers reached for war words. One called it Brazil's Hiroshima. Brazilians chose who would carry the shame. 3 players took the blame. Barbosa, Juvenal, Bigode. All 3 were black. That is not a footnote in this story. In fact, that is the story. It would be another 45 years before Brazil picked another black goalkeeper. In 1963, Barbosa held a barbecue and burned the Maracana's wooden goalposts in his backyard. It didn't help. Years later, a woman in a bakery pointed him out to her son. There is the man who made all Brazil cry. He died in 2000, poor and mostly alone. Level 1 complete. The best team lost and went looking for somebody to punish. Level 2, Budapest. For 4 years in the early 50s, Hungary did not lose a football match. Anybody. Anywhere. And in November 1953, they walked into Wembley, where England had never lost at home to a team from the continent, and beat the inventors of the game 6-3. The signature moment, Puskas pulls the ball back with the sole of his boot, and England's great captain slides past him, clean out of the picture. That captain was Billy Wright. It's him and Harry Kane on that list from before, the only 2 Englishmen ever to captain 3 World Cups, Harry Kane and the man on the Wembley grass. England's history does this. Remember that for later. So, the 1954 World Cup final, Hungary against West Germany, a side they'd already beaten earlier in that same tournament, 8-3, 8 minutes in, Hungary led 2-0. Fine. All is normal and expected. Then it started to rain. On the German side, somebody shouted, "It's raining," and Fritz Walter, who loved the mud the way other men love sunshine, said, "Now nothing can go wrong." The German boots were made by a cobbler named Adi Dassler, and when the Bern pitch turned to soup, he screwed longer studs into them. During the game, the German coach had shown his players a film of the 6-3 loss from earlier, twice, the first time for embarrassment, the second to hunt for flaws, and they put a marker on Hungary's striker, solving an issue England never could. The simplest fix in football. 3-2, the winning goal from West Germany only 6 minutes from the end of regulation. Hungary flew home to whispers they'd sold the game for cars. Their goalkeeper said the bitterness helped plant the 1956 uprising. Within 3 years, the Stars had defected, and the golden age was done. 4 years unbeaten. That one single loss was all that mattered. Level 3, Munich, 1974, and the most beautiful team anyone had ever seen. Total football. Johan Cruyff. Holland kicked off the World Cup final, passed it around, and when Cruyff finally ran at the Germans, they tripped him. Penalty. Holland led the final 1-0 before West Germany had even touched the ball, and then the Dutch stopped playing. They knocked it around teammate to teammate, like the game was already framed on a wall, up 1-0, in a World Cup final, and in no hurry to score a second. Now, because this team gets remembered as saints, here's something that adds to the story. 5 days before the final, a German tabloid ran the following story: a naked midnight pool party at the Dutch team hotel. The coach called it a smear and told everyone to deny it. 30 years later, a Dutch journalist went digging and found it was basically true. By his account, Cruyff spent the night before the biggest match of his life on the phone, talking his angry wife down. Back at the final being played, a penalty for West Germany leveled it from the spot. Gerd Muller then made it 2-1. It would stay 2-1. Wim van Hanegem skipped the banquet after the final and sat alone in his room. For Van Hanegem, the match that evening had never been about football. The important thing was to beat the Germans by any score, as long as we humiliated them. They murdered my father, sister, and 2 brothers. I am full of angst. I hate them. And Cruyff's own verdict years later is this whole video in 9 words. I don't think they won. I think we lost. Level 4, and the one your heart should break for. Denmark, 1986. Their first World Cup ever. Danish Dynamite. 3 wins from 3 in the group of death, and in the middle of it they dismantled Uruguay 6-1, the heaviest World Cup defeat in Uruguay's history. A Danish commentator said, "It's the smartest football I have ever seen any national team play, but it wasn't a game. It was a show." Their manager told them Uruguay were playing rough for the team to ease off the dribbling, so they dribbled more. That's who they were. Then came Spain. Denmark scored first, a penalty from a winger named Jesper Olsen. Remember the name. Denmark never forgot it. Just before halftime, Olsen rolled a lazy back pass across his own box. Spain's Butragano said thank you. Spain scores. 1-1, and Denmark, being Denmark, refused to slow down. They refused to defend, and it said they played the last 25 minutes, with the naivety of soldiers going over the top. 5-1 Spain. World Soccer would later rank that Denmark side above every Argentine, Spanish, or German team on its all-time list, and yet the Danish Dynamite never won a knockout match. The most lovable team of the 80s. Gone in one afternoon. Hold on to the name Jesper Olsen. He's an important part in how this story ends. Level 5. And if you're thinking this is all ancient history, Belgium would like a word. Over a decade spent living this same story. For 3.5 years, the number 1 ranked team on planet Earth was Belgium, and Belgium has never won anything. De Bruyne, Hazard, Lukaku, Courtois, the golden generation. 2014, quarterfinal. 2016, quarterfinal. 2018, they knock out Brazil, play the tournament's best football, and lose the semifinal 1-0. 2021, quarterfinal. 2022, out in the group, and this time, De Bruyne said the quiet part out loud to a reporter. No chance, we're too old. 2024, round of 16. And then, Friday, July 10th, 2026, a new Belgian generation made it all the way to face off against Spain in a World Cup quarterfinal. Thibaut Courtois, the best goalkeeper of his era, at his last World Cup, went off injured in tears. 2 minutes from full time, his young substitute spilled a shot, and Spain buried the rebound. Spain wins 2-1. The final chapter on Belgium's golden generation closed that afternoon. Total World Cups? 0. It keeps happening. And even right now, in this moment, it is still happening. Final level, England, 2026. The English national team scored 2 goals and Norway only scored once. It took until extra time and both goals coming from superstar Jude Bellingham. The winner came in the 93rd minute. Norway's keeper couldn't hold a shot, and Bellingham was standing where it landed. England are in a World Cup semifinal, and defending World Cup champions Argentina are next. And look at the date. July 11th, 5 years to the day since a Euros final at Wembley, since the penalties. Put a pin in that. One more thing about that winner. A goalkeeper spilled a shot, and it decided a quarterfinal. You've heard that one already. It's how Belgium went home one night earlier. Same moment, same round. It just picked the other goal this time. Run the checklist. Best team in the tournament? Debatable. England do have 22 players from the Premier League, most in this World Cup. Beautiful? Watch Bellingham take a ball on the half turn and argue with me. Beloved and carrying 60 years of national expectation? England invented that category. 1990, penalties. 96, penalties at Wembley. 2018, a semifinal. Then 2 straight European finals. Both lost. The best era England ever had. And the cabinet still holds one trophy. From 1966, and right now, the whole country is doing the thing Brazil did in 1950. The mayor is already at the microphone. Now the honest part, curses do break. Argentina lost a World Cup final and 2 Copa finals in 4 years. Messi quit the national team, and a whole country talked him back. And then Qatar happened. So maybe this England is that Argentina. And as it happens, Argentina get to test the theory in person. But history's price list is posted on the wall. The best team arrives with 1 bad afternoon, 1 marker, 1 back pass, 1 cross that isn't a cross. And if that afternoon comes, somewhere in this England squad is a man about to become a Jesper Olsen. England fans, you already know which road your country usually picks. Ask the men who missed penalties in 90, 96, and 21. So, maybe this is the best English team there has ever been. You know how this story goes. You've just watched 76 years of it. SideQuest FC runs on old books, and this episode took 8 off the shelf. Contested Fields by Alan McDougall, The Ball is Round by David Goldblatt, Inverting the Pyramid and the Names Heard Long Ago, both by Jonathan Wilson, Tor by Ulrich Hesse, Brilliant Orange by David Winner, Always on the Attack by Åke Koch, and Danish Dynamite by Rob Smith, Lars Eriksson, and Mike Gibbons. Every quote in this episode is real, and nearly everyone is lifted straight off their pages. These books dive deeper into today's topics more than I ever could, and if you are feeling like learning a bit more about the beautiful game, buy their books and subscribe to this channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for playing SideQuest FC.